Hey, welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Dumb podcast. I'm your co-host, Andreanna Marshall. That's my amazing co-host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott. Greetings, everyone.
Today, we're going to be talking about the impacts of AI. There's some good. We'll be talking about how AI powered tech could help people with speech impairments to work remotely. And then also a little bit of the dark side of AI. The banks are now saying that millions of people could be targeted by AI voice cloning scams. So we'll be covering both of those articles today and be talking about the impacts. It impacts us all. So even though we're not Scrum Dumb channel, it's really important to stay aware of what's going on in the trends in the tech sector. So let's get started. The first one here, AI powered tech could help people with speech impairment to work remotely. You've probably experienced the frustration of being misheard or misunderstood by a smart speaker or AI assistant. For people with non standard speech, it can happen in nearly every interaction with this kind of technology. Israeli company Voiceitt aims to change that. But I do actually understand, at least from my side, I have Alexa products all throughout my house, and she's probably listening right now. It doesn't always hear me, it doesn't always understand what I'm saying, it gets confused sometimes. I can't even imagine what that feels like when someone has an actual speech impediment.
That's a very good point. Yeah, speech impediment. I know a few of my students, Andreanna, that their children, I think their children are like less than 4 years old. They have that stutter and they taking classes, they're in school for speech training and things of this nature. And it's just such a hassle for them to get their students to, first of all, find the right person to work with your child. It's just a lot that goes with that. So I'm super duper excited this technology is out here.
The article also talks about by using personalized voice models, its AI powered speech recognition system helps people with speech impairments caused by conditions like cerebral palsy, Parkinson's, Down syndrome, or stroke communicate more effectively with both people and digital devices. For Voiceitt, co founder Sarah Smoley, facilitating speech recognition for non standard speech patterns is a personal mission. My grandmother was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease. She said, by the time I was born, she had lost most of her motor capabilities and her speech was impacted. Voiceitt was launched as an app in 2021 and operated as a simple vocal translator, converting non standard speech to audio. The AI is trained by the user recording themselves saying around 200 simple stock phrases. Oh, that's pretty cool. Parkinson's disease affects millions of people around the world. I believe it's over 8 million
Wow.
globally. So it's a lot of people that are impacted and be able to use this technology she's creating. Smoley said the original idea was to facilitate in person communication, but the technology has now also been tailored to remote workers, which is really important. I know they're making everyone go back to work, but people with disabilities usually have some kind of medical exceptions. Voiceitt has developed integrations with WebEx and ChatGPT along with a Google Chrome extension, which convert non-standard speech to captions shown on the screen. The company is also partnering with Zoom and Microsoft Teams. That's great.
Hmm.
Especially we teach classes, that's really important to everyone to be able to understand the other person. We do a lot of group activities, and training's only as effective as we as we can work together.
Absolutely.
One of the things that really stood out to me was the importance of accessibility technology in the workplace. Smoley noted what a wheelchair ramp was to yesterday's office building. Voiceitt is today's remote work, she said.
What sticks out to me in that statement, Adriana, is what a wheelchair ramp was yesterday. For those of you who don't know, if you had a commercial building, in order to do business, you have to have that accessible to people with disabilities. And having a wheelchair ramp was part of that. So, putting that in context, so before you can open your doors to business and have customers come in, you have to have a wheelchair ramp. Now we have this here opportunity for people with these disabilities to work remotely at home, liking to the wheelchair ramp is for businesses before they can open their doors. I think that's super duper important. I'm happy to see that.
The software is sold as either a per minute or per user license, with prices ranging from $20 to $50. Licenses can be bought in bulk for workplaces and health or education institutions. I hope a lot of companies take advantage of this in educational institutions and give it to them for free. People are using Voiceitt not just for video meetings, but for writing documents, emails, posting on LinkedIn, and accessing web browsers by voice, Smoley explained. This has opened up the digital world for individuals who previously might not be considered for certain jobs or able to communicate with colleagues or customers. And I agree with her on this point. It definitely will open up a lot of opportunities for people that couldn't work before. This entire sector needs a shakeup. Among users of Voiceitt is Colin Hughes, a former BBC producer turned accessibility advocate. Living with muscular dystrophy, Hughes relies on dictation for his digital interactions, making him acutely aware of both the potential and limitations of current technologies. Hughes has used Voiceitt to compose emails and dictate longer written pieces. So they already have some proven output of this and how it's transforming the lives of people. I
Hmm.
found Voiceitt's app to be impressively accurate with any atypical speech, and its training and setup process was straightforward. Hughes said, though he highlighted critical gaps for professional users. Many people with impaired speech and upper lip disabilities need more than just speech to text, he noted. He advocates for features like voice driven cursor control and improved dictation recognition for drafting long form content, saying that Voiceitt works best for single sentence messages. Yeah, I can imagine there are limitations to this, especially just starting out.
Hmm.
It's really hard to get to that point, but I can see the technology over time building. I can definitely see it getting to this point. Hughes stresses a need for more comprehensive speech recognition tech that lets users do things like manage emails and format documents using their voice. He sees a future where technology plays a bigger role in accessibility, adding, this entire sector needs a shakeup. Voiceitt, with better access to major platforms, could be the to lead this change. One of the problems that we have is companies think about accessibility last, not during the process. That's one of the biggest challenges that I see and the biggest hurdles.
I totally agree. Pretty much every environment, Andriana, and everyone else, that any environment I'm in, we looking at this website and trying to figure out how can we make it more accessible to all of our customers who have some type of disability, whatever that may be. And to your point, the website is already built, and now we're thinking about this. Yes.
Yeah, and I think even in some of our trainings, and it's not intentional,
Mm.
and it's not something that you necessarily start with in class. It's something that usually they tell us, and then we figure out how do we meet their needs. And that's even on us to have a more proactive approach when we're teaching. If you're a product manager, start thinking about how you can integrate some of these technologies to help people. One example is Speech Accessibility Project, a research project led by the University of Illinois' Beckham Institute for Advanced Science and Technology, which is collecting voice data from people with different conditions to build algorithms for supporting people with non-standard speech. Earlier this year, Apple launched its AI powered Listen for Atypical Speech feature, which uses machine learning to recognize a wider range of speech patterns. Well, go Apple.
Yes.
With technology that captures and stores personal data such as voice recordings, privacy can be a concern for users. Smoley says her company complies with European Union regulations, which she calls the highest standards in the world in terms of data privacy. Yeah, they were doing a lot of things even before America was in terms of regulating data privacy. If the user's data is being kept in our database with their consent, it's anonymized and de identified and used to augment our data stack and improve our algorithm, she adds. She believes Voiceitt's technology can be life changing. We want to allow people not just to be more independent in their lives and work, but also to enjoy technology and have fun. Yeah, I definitely agree with that last part too. I think the most of the article is talking about work and working remotely and being able to earn a living, which is important, but also the ability to actually live your life. I have a bunch of Echo devices and Alexa enabled products, but it's really just purely enjoyment and making my life easier. Nothing work related towards having all these devices around the house.
Wow. I have all those tools to your point, but I don't use them. Just lazy. Just hadn't set it up.
That is funny. Everything's set up from the camera. You can see it on the Alexa devices. Oh yeah, everything is fully enabled and fully automatic. So that's the really great side of AI and being able to help people earn a living and use technology to improve their quality of life as well. Now, on the other side, we do have challenges with AI, which we talked about at the beginning of this, was this bank says millions of people could be targeted by AI voice cloning scams, which I'm nervous about. Millions of people could fall victim to scams using artificial intelligence to clone their voices, a UK bank has warned. Okay, Starling Bank, an online only lender, said fraudsters are capable of using AI to replicate a person's voice from just 3 seconds of audio found in, for example, a video the person has posted online. And we have too many videos online. I am definitely nervous right now.
Just off that one line, Andreanna, it took me back in time. Whereas I remember an iPhone had the capability that you could get close to somebody else and pretty much take everything off somebody else's cell phone. So that just took me back to that time where you could do that.
Scammers can then identify the person's friends and family members and use the AI coded voice to stage a phone call to ask for money. Now, this is getting wild.
Yeah. Too wild. Crazy.
If you're my friend and family, hell got to freeze over if I ask for money. So same with Scott. He's laughing, but just so
That's right.
y'all know.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All right. These types of scams have the potential to catch millions out, Starling Bank said in a press release Wednesday. They have already affected hundreds. Oh, wow. Okay. According to a survey, more than 3,000 adults that the bank conducted with Mortar Research last month, more than a quarter of respondents said they have been targeted by an AI voice cloning scam in the past 12 months. This is
Wow.
getting really scary.
Mhm.
On one end, we've seen an article where using people's voices empower people and change their lives for the better. Now we're looking at
Mm.
people using that to take money from individuals. The survey also showed that 46% of respondents weren't aware that such scams existed. And now you're aware that this scam exists. And that 8% would send over as much money as requested by a friend or family member, even if they thought the call seemed strange. Think
Watch
about
out,
that.
people. Watch out, people. I think I've had some of those calls. I don't give my social security number out online. Sometimes you feel in your spirit that something ain't right. In this case, somebody acting on your on behalf. Here's some things that I put in place to deal with this particular issue. We're talking about this voice AI. Have y'all ever called a bank and the bank and said, "Hey, you can set up your automatic voice so you don't have to put in your PIN number"? I'm sure y'all have seen that. If not, you'll be hearing about that very soon. I haven't done that. And because of this article is why I haven't done that. I'd rather you ask me my last 4 digits of my social security number. Okay. And then, hey, Mr. Adams, can I send you a text to verify who you are? Yeah, send me a text. See, I want all that extra security because I want the bank to know that they're talking to me and not imposter or not this AI voice. I want to make sure they're talking to me. So I've never set up that AI voice thing. It would be convenient, but I work hard for my money, Andreanna.
Yeah, I called the bank the other day and it said something along the lines of we're able to identify you using your voice, which is scary considering we have a ton of YouTube videos and now people can just take it off of YouTube. So I think anyone who's a YouTuber, anyone who's posted anything online, a video, whether that's Instagram or LinkedIn or any place at this point is vulnerable, which is probably most people watching this. So you're also joining in the fear of Scott and I right now. But yeah, it was using my voice to authenticate, which was scary. I guess I signed up for it, but I don't actually remember, to be honest. But at some point, they do send you a text, so it did both, thankfully.
That's good to
All
know.
right.
That's good to know. It gives me a little
Yes.
peace of mind.
And people regularly post content online which has recordings of their voice, which we just talked about, without ever imagining it's making them more vulnerable to fraudsters. Lisa Graham, Chief Information Security Officer at Starling Bank, said in the press release. The bank is encouraging people to agree a safe phrase with their loved ones, a simple random phrase that's easy to remember and different from their other passwords that can be used to verify their identity over the phone. That's actually a really good one. I worked in a location where they would say a certain folder color.
Mhm.
So It'd be like the red folder. If you say bring the red folder, then I'm in danger. And then obviously don't
Yeah.
actually bring the folder, go and call the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are different phrases that you can use where you're saying like I'm in danger without saying I'm in danger. And then
Yeah.
if you have a virtual security system, some of you may have that. If you don't know, whatever your security, let's just say red folder is your security password. If you
Hmm.
say something other than that, they won't acknowledge that you're not saying the right one. They'll just hang up and then they'll call the police for you. They know you're in danger.
I like that idea of the safe phrase because remember I had to call T-Mobile last week that my voicemail wasn't working, and I haven't talked to them since 2 or 3 years ago when I had the phone plan redone or whatever. And of course, they ask you, "What is your PIN number?" I'm like, "What? Your PIN number?" I'm like, "Oh, how many digits is it? 6 digits. Try this, but that's not it. Try that. That's not it." So I'm sure we all have gone through that where we forgot our actual password. And I think this safe phrase would be actually a great idea. I can remember a phrase for me in my own mind better than some numbers and some letters.
The lender advises against sharing the safe phrase over text, which could make it easier for scammers to find out. That would make sense. But if shared in this way, the message should be deleted once the person has seen it. AI becomes increasingly adept at mimicking human voices. Concerns are mounting about its potential to harm people by, for example, helping criminals access their bank accounts and spread misinformation. Yeah, there has definitely been some misinformation where people are taking bits of people's voices and redoing them. Now, we've seen that done over the years, but it's getting increasingly better, so it's harder to tell. Or earlier this year, OpenAI, the maker of generative AI ChatGPT, unveiled its voice replication tool, Voice Engine, but it didn't make it available to the public at this stage, citing the potential for synthetic voice misuse. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think even when you have a company that's making quite a bit of money off of this, unwilling to put it out there because it's so harmful says a lot. But in my personal opinion, think about having safe phrases, even beyond just banking. I think it's really important just to have those in your life in general. But any other thoughts about this, Scott?
This is a great opportunity to remind everybody about what we do in Scrum. If you're in an IT environment, really think about your definition of done. Really remind your developers that, hey, we putting all this here amazing stuff out here for people to do good with it, like in the first article. But in some cases, somebody's going to take that same technology or twist it in another way and do something bad with that. So we always got to be thinking about those different things that bake the security in. So as we learn more, let's figure out ways how we can make that technology that we're creating even more safe for our end users. Just to call that out.
Yeah. And there's not that many regulations around it right now. So it's on
Yeah.
us to regulate ourselves. OpenAI could have easily put this out, but they stopped themselves so that people
Yeah.
aren't being harmed because of their technologies. This is a very different video than we normally do. We'll be trying to bring you more current and relevant topics. If you like a video like this or you have suggestions on other videos, please leave it in the chat. We'd love your feedback for this. Also, you can go to the description. You can reach out to us on LinkedIn. You can also subscribe to our email list. We'll be sending exclusives to our email subscribers. We have some courses and some content that some free, some paid in the description. Check those out. And if you stay to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not Scrum Dumb.